I wore a tunic, an old khaki tunic, while you wore your civvy clothes. While we fought and bled at Lewes, you were on the booze, booze no one here knows. While you were with the wenches, we were in the trenches, fighting an angry foe. While you were a-slacking, we were attacking the Germans on the Menin Road. Sorry guys, I've been wanting to do that for a long, long time. Really I have. Right guys, I have to do my own intros. YouTube won't let us put anything on, will it? Right, that was a trench song from the Great War. There's loads of different ways it can be sung, badly. But yeah, my favourite actually of all of them. You know, you get a long way to Tipperary, keep the home fires burning, all that good stuff, the long, long trail, but that's my favourite. Right guys, probably just destroyed your interest in this next video. Guys, my name's Gav, welcome to another one of my videos. I couldn't get that at the beginning. Today we're looking at Tommies War figures again. One that I've almost more or less painted, no face on it yet, but most of the uniform is painted. And this guy, which is Private 8th Battalion, Tank Corps, Amiens, 1918. He's going to be unboxed in a minute. I've just received him today. We got some info on the Tommies War Collectors Club. Tommies Wars, by the way, are 1 in 32 scale figures, so they probably, my mate, my Mara Greg Riley was saying he wouldn't mind doing some to go with a Whippet tank he's got. And I said to him, well, the Whippets are 135, so these are going to be slightly bigger. Obviously, different manufacturers' scales on models and that can vary very slightly, even if they say a particular scale, so you never know, it might fit. We've got a couple with this, by the way. I'm just showing these. It's more of a to big up Tommies War, really. I have no connection to them whatsoever. I bought the figures myself. But if you do like the Great War is my main for all the things. You know, you've seen me talk about Vietnam recently and all that, but the Great War is my main topic of military history. It's the one period I enjoy reading and learning about the most. I will also put a link down to, I mention these guys a lot and I really should join actually, I probably will do at some stage, but the Western Front Association, I think membership is around £26 for a single and 32 for up to 3 people, so you could if you fancy joining the Western Front Association and learning more on the fighting on the Western Front in the Great War, I'm sure these guys would be happy to see you. But if you just want to stick some fantastic talks and lectures on all subjects of the Great War, some are on particular battles, many are on particular units, and some are on the home front. So it could be women munition workers. Yeah, there was an interesting one put up recently on deserters on the home front. So, you know, there's lots of stuff about the Great War on the Western Front Association, and they've been doing, obviously with COVID, they've been doing a lot of these, are they webinars, Zooms, I don't know what you call them, and they're brilliant. And then they go on, sometimes it's for an hour, sometimes if it's a longer lecture it might be a couple of hours, you know, and they're brilliant to put on and listen to as I'm painting my figures of any historical description. Right guys, we'll be going down to the bench, so we'll be looking at one of the Tommies War figures I've painted, or I am painting at the moment, the one that's come through today. I did explain to you that I'd got the figure probably about for a year now, and bought it and never really thought that the one I was buying, he's pointing and talking, well, really we needed somebody to point and talk to at, so I've had to buy a second figure to go with him. I think they do three Tank Corps figures at the moment, and I've picked this guy that we're going to see now. I'm putting these on a small vignette. I was supposed to do it later on yesterday and I've run out of time, and I'm hoping to do it in a bit. I've got a blue foam base, which is already pre-cut. I bought a load of odds and sods from one of these factory sales on eBay, and well, odds and sods, they're all the same size, but they do make good little vignette bases, and I'm going to put I'm still deciding what to do. I've got the idea in my head, but it's whether I can do it for this size base, and is just do a bit of a wall section and that. I'll go into it in a bit. Anyway, guys, join me at the bench. Right, guys, in front of you is a 1:32 scale resin Tommies War figure depicting a tanker from the latter part of the Great War, tank corps crewman. Let's see, I'm just trying to debate, are the lights going to be too strong again? We've got, and as usual, Gav hasn't even got a pointy stick. Right, that'll do us. Right. Uniform is I've gone for a dark colour now. Again, with a lot of periods in history, and we've talked about this recently with the more modern figures I was doing, war game size 28mm figures. Just remember that a uniform doesn't always have to be the same colour, and it has to be in the realms of being. I mean, there's no point painting this German field grey when it's a British Tommy, but they often were a darker colour like this. They went up to a lot more lighter greeny, light greeny colour. So, and you could have the trousers a lighter colour, the top a darker colour. So you know, you can mix it up if you want to. And that's what originally I was going to do. And I ended up painting it roughly top and bottom the same colour. That's how it goes. I've used let's just turn this off. I always do this with this one here. Let's just see. Is that better? No, I think that's a bit better. We've got some stippling going on, as I often do these days. And then I've been glazing over that stippling just to blend it in very slightly. We've got brown boots on these guys. British Army would normally wear black boots, but I've noticed that these tank corps guys are in brown, and I don't know enough about it. I should do the amount I read on the Great War, but I'm not sure if we went over to brown boots, if everyone went over to brown boots just because they were easier to knock out, as in at the factories, cheaper, whether it was just a thing for the tank corps, I can't honestly remember. So, but all the photographs I'd seen had got brown boots, and some of the artistic references I was using also had brown boots. So yeah, that's what we've gone with. We've got the pre-war. Can we go out again, Gav? We've got the pre-war brown leather webbing. So not the actual webbing is you know, often we call it webbing as in the actual material, but it's always just been known as webbing. So even if it's in leather. So this is a leather set. I can't remember when. I'm not very well read up here, am I? Early 1900s, I think it was. I've been working on that a fair bit last night. This particular green, we can never really replicate our own work, but each other's work. But again, the greens I used on this off the top of my head were English uniform by Vallejo, Russian uniform green, World War II, mixed in with that, and on a base, by the way, sorry, the English uniform had a base colour of English uniform with a bit of black in it as well. Sorry, I should say that. So English uniform with a bit of black in, then English uniform, then English uniform with increasing amounts of Russian green in it. And I think that was it. Badges we've gone on here. These are service badges. I put like a silver grey, which that needs to be really darkened down. It's way too bright around the outside of there are chevrons, and they denote overseas service on a yearly basis. So he's got 2, which you can't really see there. So he's been in France probably, although Tank Corps were obviously in Palestine and that as well. But obviously this is in France. We've got his corporal chevrons there. I've just got to do a bit more work to them yet. This should be grubby finger now. This here is the badge of the Tank Corps, which is the stylised tank in white with a very tiny stitched black sponson with a gun sticking out, and there's normally the little driver's box on the top, which it really wasn't shown in. I didn't have enough to work on to really show it there, so I've had to conform to whatever they've, the sculptors put on. But that's what it depicts. And then TC you can hardly see. I didn't do it. I'm debating whether to redo that again. TC just for Tank Corps patch on the top. Helmet just got a base coat last night, so it's not it's not really anything yet. Respirator, or as it was called then, the gas mask. That was in more like you could either have them in canvas or like just a different types of canvas. I'd say like a heavy duty one or a lighter. This was one of the lighter ones in like a yellowy orangey colour, and you can either have the strap as yellowy orangey colour or a more of a canvas khaki type one, which is what I'm going to do there, just for a bit of difference again. Pistols not been, apart from just doing a thin black wash over it, nothing's gone on with that yet, and none of the brass has been put in. There's some buttons and that. Same replicated on the other arm. There will be some. I'm thinking of putting like the chalk dust on there. And I said to you guys before, this here, if you're wondering what that is, that's the splinter like goggles for your eyes. There's some light. There's actually, it's not glass. It's like a I think it's in strips of metal or something that goes down that you can see out of, I think, and it stops splinters. Tanks are notorious for having splinters and bits of rivets flying around if the tank got hit. And these would often, there'd be a couple of hooks on there, and you could hang a chainmail. Once this went down over your eyes, your lower half was covered by almost like a medieval chainmail, but fairly loose. So yeah, that's our guide. That's our almost painted Tommies War guy. Right, we were going to be doing an unboxing. Oh, before we do the unboxing, let's just quickly. That's what I'm going to be basing them on. It's not very big, as you can see, but it'll fit 2 figures. The idea I'm going for at the moment, it's not going to be your classic mud and blood type of thing with barbed wire everywhere. I've always wanted to do it as when I got the figure, as a rear area type workshops or stores, but it's going to be stores. So either one side, but maybe 2. I'm going to get some other blue foam and make a small frontage of or back, whatever it is, of a building, and a door or something in there, and have this as cobbles probably, so that the unit's taken over, either a workshop, bit of a factory, farmer's yard, whatever, and that's going to be what that is. Rather than, I didn't want to do a trench type of vignette. More for the fact as well is I'd even got, was there any way I could try and make a facade of a small piece of tank, to put the figure in, but I'm just not that good. So I've gone for the coward's way out and trying to build a small, as I say, fascia of a building, just to give some context of what they're doing. So that's that. Tommies War now, if you've had them figures before, you might not have done, but they used to have the plastic packaging. I believe Darren, who owns it, has said he's gone over to it for saving the planet type reasons. I just never liked them. I didn't think they were particularly sturdy, where these boxes, they're a lot better for me. They fit, you can save the planet and keep your figures safe at the same time. So these came really well boxed up, by the way, in a box about 6 times the size of what was in it. I don't care as long as my product gets to me safely. That's all I'm bothered about. Let's go back a bit. I've not got this out of the bag. I've got it out like this just to have a quick look first thing in the morning through bleary eyes. I'm going to do another. Get on my soapbox here again. I always do it with figures. I just think, it's got to be said. This is a certificate, as it says. It's genuine. This guy Darren Parker Media who owns the business. It's all. I think he does it all, himself type of thing. Get sculptors in. If you're going to get yourself a Chinese knockoff of this, eventually Darren will go out of business. I'm saying Chinese here. There could be anybody, so this isn't particularly aimed at a people or a country, but a lot of them are coming from China. If you get a recast of this, you go on your Alibaba or eBay, are selling loads of them. I don't mean so much Tommies War, but figures in general. If you buy a recast of this figure or any other figure, the person who has put all the money in, as in this case Darren, is going to go out of business eventually, or at least just say it's just not worth doing. Now the recaster in China is not going to say, oh, I'm going to go and get a sculptor and carry on this beautiful range. They're just going to be recasting something else. The person in China is stealing this guy's intellectual property. The people that are buying these are buying stolen, I don't even call it stolen property, stolen ideas. But you know what you're doing. You're not 10-year-olds. If you're buying something like this, you're buying stolen property, theft of copyright of people's ideas. And as I say, eventually there won't be Darrens of this world making these figures. There will, you're just destroying it for everybody. That's the person that's doing the recasting and the people that are buying it. Because if you don't buy them, they can't recast them. So please, I know I'm getting preachy. It's one of the few times I do, but I really feel it makes me angry when I see. It's like somebody buying a TV. Somebody knocks your door. Here, buy this TV, £1,500. You can have it for £100. Then the next day, your neighbour says, "Oh, I've been burgled. They've stolen my big TV," and there it is hanging on your wall. It's the same thing. There we go. Calm down, Gav. Now, calm down. Right. So let's have a look at the figure. Now what I have noticed on the one I just painted and this one, there's a bit of blue sticking out, which is the sticking on some of the figure, which is the rubber mould. I mean, this has come off here. Yeah. So if you see some of that, that's the mould that it was has come out of. Let's have a look at the figure. We'll do this in trepidation. As we saw with the Turkish figure, there was a strap missing on that one. And Darren actually says in his one of his magazine, well, not magazine, but one of the things that came with it. Occasionally, obviously, with more and more figures being produced, occasionally there will be one that is, there might be something wrong with it. And he will replace, if he can't replace the part, he'll replace the figure completely with no charge. And occasionally there will be the odd bit that is wrong on the figure. So all power to him. I'll still point him out. If, as I say, I've got no connection. If I find something, I will say if I'm buying something, I've got the right to say good or bad if there's something wrong with that figure. I think it's fair we all look at these reviews if we're interested in buying a particular figure, so we should be telling it like it is. Now this is a one piece, you can't see, it's a one piece overall that Tank Corp guys wore in the tank a lot of the time, just to keep the grease and the oil and lubricants at bay if possible. This guy, I was wondering if it showed it, and it doesn't. might well do a lanyard out of twist up some copper wire and make a lanyard for this guy. I didn't do it with the Corporal only because he got his respirator on and there was so little showing. In the end I thought, oh, it's not really worth the hassle, and I think I'll just mess the figure up by doing it. But this one he's all open here, so but again he's wearing the older style webbing again with his pistol. If everybody's seen the British tanks, they were covered in pistol ports all over the place to open up the port and fire your pistol out of. Nice looking figure. Soft cap. Again, that will be easy to remove from the casting plug. I use those mini, they're almost like razor blades, I've shown them before, and they work. I've got the larger ones as well that I use for the busts and that, but these smaller ones, they work a lot better on these scale figures. Yeah, very nice. And although that goes along the arm, to be honest with you, the ones I took off for the Corporals, I was expecting more of a flat spots everywhere, and there really wasn't. When I took them off and gave it a bit of a sand, I can't say that there was massive flat spots, which was quite pleasing. The coveralls, as they be called in the army more than overalls, they are a brown, like an orangey brown, I'd say. No, not bad. I couldn't see under the lights any. Sorry about the state of my nails. I've been working. I haven't seen. You do get the very occasion. I think the Turkish or the yeomanry figure. There were on the horse and things like that. There were a few pinholes that needed to be filled, but nothing that I was going to be shouting about. Again, there that'll just need to be pared away to make it a decent fit. The Corporal had only the tiniest amount of filling around the arm. There's very few times you're going to get anything like that where when you put the arms on or the head, you're going to get an absolute fit. It's and that's on anything that you buy resin wise. Again, these are really fairly simple to take off. So sorry if you can hear the dog, it's in the background. Not mine. There we go. Right guys, let's put them to one side for the moment. Let's get him back. So hopefully the next update on these will be he'll be complete. So I might just do a one-off, and maybe if there's anything to show on the little base and building, and obviously anything to show on this guy. So basically, he's going to be, as most corporals are, telling this guy to actually do all the heavy lifting while he stands around and watches. Thank you for joining me. Sorry if I've done a bit of a finger pointing rant there, but well, I'm not really going to apologise for it. It's just how I feel. And sorry for the musical intro. I've done them before, so you know what you're getting. Look after yourselves, guys. Coming up on videos, we've got a lot of progress on the snow speeder for the Beatles, not those Beatles, sent me 1 in 48 Star Wars snow speeder. That was something different to do. I am a military buff, but that is something different. All the cockpits painted out, and most of it's put together. As you know, it's a push and fit thing type of build, and that's got to have the rest of the paint job done on it over the next few days. What else have we got? The landing vehicle track for the Pacific, 1 in 56 scale, wargaming scale. That's going to get paint at the same time as a snow speeder. All it needs now is a dusting over, just to show some sand or dust stuck to the wet tank type of thing. That's done, and then that'll be ready for a final reveal. I start tomorrow cleaning up the 18mm AB French Old Guard Brigade infantry I'm doing. Not that you'll see any of that until it starts getting painted, and I've got some 30-year war figures that I'm painting for Mez over at Mez's Minis for his website. I'll start painting a few of those as well. So there'll be different videos coming up, and I've also got an unboxing. I've got something I can't remember now, but I've got something. Oh, and finally, maybe sometime, it's getting pushed back, but slowly the Starfighter is coming together, and there will be a Starfighter video up towards the end of next week or the following weekend, something like that. But you'll be seeing hopefully some progress on the Starfighter. So one last time, let's get back to the Tommies War figure. Excellent figures, rate them very highly, and it's always a joy to do. As I say in the description of the video, I will leave hopefully a Tommies War. If I can't leave a Tommies War, just put Tommies War in and you'll find it, and there'll be a link to the Western Front YouTube channel, Western Front Association, if you want to listen to some cracking lectures and talks on the Great War on the Western Front. Look after yourselves, guys, and I thank you for stopping by and taking a look, and we'll catch each other soon on another video.